How's it going, guys? My name is Alex, and in today's video I'll be reviewing probably the most overpowered card in this game, and that is Patrick Vieira. So this video is brought to you by the Legends Club. Become a member and support the channel right now. The link is in the description. So definitely after playing quite a few games with him, I played solely online to see how this card really feels, and I must say that this is a player that I will never take out of my team if I were to build the strongest team, and definitely his prowess is being a box-to-box defensive midfielder, the destroyer. This is his playstyle. He is incredible, really similar to what he did in real life. Basically, he played a majority of his career for Arsenal. He started in Milan, he didn't really have a lot of playtime there, and Arsene Wenger bought him in 1996. Probably the most successful spell for Patrick Vieira started. It lasted up until 2005. Patrick Vieira has proven himself as the club leader. He became the captain starting from 2002. He lifted 3 FA Cups and won 3 Premier League titles, including the Invincible season, and definitely he had a lot of success there, a lot of clashes between Vieira and Keane when Manchester United and Arsenal were playing in the Premier League. These were unforgettable memories for many Arsenal supporters, and then he moved interestingly in 2005 to Juventus, where he spent 1 season, and then when after the match-fixing scandal Juventus were relegated to Serie B, he decided, you know what, I will be playing in Inter Milan. And this decision definitely proven to be correct in terms of league titles, and I didn't know that previously. He apparently lifted more league titles playing for Inter Milan than he did during his 9-year spell for Arsenal. So he played for Inter Milan up until 2010, and then he won 4 consecutive league titles with Inter Milan. It's unfortunate, but he left to Manchester City to play alongside Yaya Toure. Imagine that pairing in the midfield. He spent there only 1 season, and that season is where Inter Milan won the Champions League. Then he retired. Right now he is managing Nice, and actually, speaking about France, he won a few titles with France as well. He won the World Cup in 1998. He wasn't really a starter there, but he was definitely a starter at UEFA Euro 2000, playing as a center midfielder, pretty much dominating every team that faced his France. And speaking about his stats in this game, this is his fully trained card in PES, and you can see it is 95 rated card. I am not really playing with a fully trained card. I mean, you can train him, whatever. You can see his Tekken Styles are possession game and pressing aggressive. Aggressive pressing comes naturally because you play him as defensive midfielder and as destroyer playstyle. It's given, of course, but possession game is something that you would want to make sure that your manager either has possession playstyle, but sometimes has counter-attack. So that means that you will have to play a few games to get his familiarity to 100%. Other than that, I think it's not a big deal, and you can see the areas where he can play. Defensive midfielder, center midfielder, probably attacking midfielder. You see his stats if card is maxed out. Ball control 88, dribbling 84. Only downside I saw in Vieira, other than passing, but we'll cover that a little bit later. Making pass, it just takes a little bit more time than naturally it would take any other more skillful midfielders like Iniesta, for instance. So in that regard, Vieira is probably not the player that you would want to rely in terms of like creating quick counters, but he can do that, and these low pass and lofted pass stats for maxed out cards I think are kind of disgrace, because in this game it is not reflected in that manner. Of course, you're not trying to make a long ball with Vieira to your strikers and make a perfect lob, although it can still be possible. But when I play him, especially in the Santos formation, you would want some short passes to your other midfielders, maybe forward pass to your attacking midfielder. You don't expect Vieira to make through passes to your attackers over here, so these short passes are playing out perfectly. Sometimes my wing backs are making runs over here, so Vieira can distribute the ball to them, so it's not a big deal overall. And speaking about other stats, it's all getting better with next stats is finishing and heading. Extremely well judged stats. I mean, I would say probably finishing. Once it was kind of ridiculous that he couldn't finish 1v1 chance. I think it was a legendary defender, right? My opponent has pretty much the entire squad full of legends. So he outpowered that defender, and then he made that perfectly weighted cross there. Come on, man. Ruminic, can you... ooh, yes he can. And can I score with Vieira one more time? No, I can't, because Vieira can't shoot to save his life, but I think overall as a power forward, you can even play him as a striker if you want, but that would be kind of like exaggeration of his potential. But still, heading 93, play him on corners, he scored a few corners for me as well. Curl and set piece taking, you don't really expect him taking free kicks, but then speed and acceleration for defensive midfielder and for box-to-box midfielder, and for his stamina, you can see over here the stats for stamina is 97, pretty much one of the most prominent stats for this card, and you don't really have to care about him getting exhausted by the end of the second half. He can, even if he mistackled or he is not in the position to make a tackle, he can actually run after a forward or a midfielder that is trying to beat your defense with quirky 1-2 passes. He can run after these people. Physical contact 97, there is not a player that can withstand a tackle from Patrick Vieira in this game, and that is why this card is so valuable. I wrecked so many people, so many players. Defensive awareness, ball winning, I mean, he can play as defensive midfielder, he should be played there. He can play as center midfielder, but with these stats, he can play as center back, obviously, but you don't want to waste this card as a center back. Aggression 95, one more time, another really nice skill to be paired with physical contact over here. And speaking about other stats, conditioning 8, every time prior to the game he'll be having green arrows, blue arrows. Speaking about skills, cut behind and turn, I don't really use that way often. Heading, outside curler, it's interesting because he doesn't really use his weak foot often, so that will help you. Long throw, man marking, interception, then captaincy and fighting spirit, and playstyle is destroyer, meaning that you would want him to have in this area center midfielder, defensive midfielder or center back. Other than that, I mean, this is a card that I actually was trying to get for a long time. I got my hands on this card by the end of the season. The downside that's already pointed out, it takes some time for him to actually take control of the ball, especially if that's like a aerial ball or whatever, and then to proceed by making a pass. He doesn't have one-on-one skills. You can of course try and teach double touch on him. You can see that the amount of skills over here implies that you can obviously train any other skill. Maybe you'd want to train one touch passing with him, maybe you'd want to train double touch or roulette or crossover turn. You can do that, of course, just make sure you do that starting from a new season, because these skill moves will be removed once the season starts. So basically Patrick Vieira is the ultimate dream of, like, if you're building top 11 players, like majority of the people will be putting Patrick Vieira here as defensive midfielder, as a legend card. You have a conditioning prior to the game, perfect, and yeah, I mean, it's a fun card to have. I really hope that you guys can get your hands on this card. Part of the Invincibles, Patrick Vieira, great player, and I really hope this review was helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comments what would you like to see next on my channel, which players you would like me to review. That's it from me, and I'll see you in the next one.